Did you know that 33 million teen vapers globally think that because e-cigarettes don't cause cancer, like conventional cigarettes, they must be all good? By conveying the hazards of nicotine vaping as 5-minute short stories or microlearning, and spoken in the simplest language possible, Safeguard is about youth, for youth, and in the language of youth, Teen Vaping Awareness Mission. So, what are you waiting for? Listen, learn, quit.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Safeguard, the teen vaping awareness micro-learning platform where I seek to take the complex science of adolescent vaping and simplify it down to a teen-appropriate level. Today's video focuses on the fourth letter of the Safeguard acronym, the E, which stands for exposing top vaping brands and their teen marketing strategies. We'll discuss what lures adolescent vapers to these addictive products and some of the top brands of vape makers in the US and how exactly they cash in. So far in this micro-learning series, we've studied the history of smoking and the story of the e-cigarette's invention in the first story, story 1. Then we analyzed the differences between smoking and vaping and why teens think vaping is safer in story 2. And story 3 featured an organ system by organ system analysis of the fatal perils and the biology of teen vaping. In this story, story 4, we move towards human behavior, analyzing teen behavior and understanding how this fatal attraction to the vape device is actually created. Take a look at this picture for a second. What do you see? You probably see a lot of colors, you probably see something that looks really cool and really interesting. You might not even know what this is even depicting, but no matter what, you want to be a part of it. And that, my friend, is the first big lure that the vaping industry uses to attract teens to their products. Beyond this, vapes are also laced with fruity flavors to mask the bitterness of nicotine, which are flavors that teens are naturally drawn to. In fact, 66% or nearly 2/3 of teen vapers have no clue their vape device even contains nicotine, and instead they think it's just the flavoring with no harm whatsoever. And the CDC's reported that nearly 9 in 10 youth in America who report current use of e-cigarettes use these flavored products. So coupling these two pieces of data together, we can see just how grave this particular lure of using fruity flavors is in the context of teen vaping. Beyond this, social and print media ads, as you can see here, for vape nicotine products are widespread and are also very catchy. 73% of teens who are on social media report being targeted by this type of content, and teens are even invited to jewel parties and launch events to create the notion of glamour associated with using these vape devices. Vape makers then become corporate sponsors for events that teens deem cool, whether that be car racing, sports events, or even local proms that teens attend. These brands also advertise zero tobacco to create the semblance of risk-free smoking. And yes, it is technically zero tobacco in these products, in the sense that there is no tobacco present, but it is not zero nicotine. And because of the zero tobacco, teens are often deceived into thinking that these products are entirely safe. But as we've discussed previously, the presence of this large amount of nicotine, despite there being no tobacco, comes with a lot of grave effects. And lastly, as you can see in these bottom two images, vape brands provide highly discounted products so that teens can afford it with their own pocket change. The rise of vape influencers, as you can see on the bottom here, has also really catalyzed the upsurge of brands like Elf Bar and Breeze. Influencers in the vaping industry are typically good-looking young adults who get paid by the vape manufacturing companies, the vape companies on the side, but they put their own content on their own social media accounts, whether that be Instagram or TikTok, etc., to showcase their good life. Their uploaded photos feature them in beautiful locations and glamorous, fantastic, lavish parties, always holding a vape pen. And this entices teens more than any other marketing ploy the vape industry has ever used. So here you can see some graphs of sort of who's cashing in on this, who's monetizing on all of these lures that the vape industry is using. So Juul, along with another company, Vuse, sort of started this obsession with vaping, especially among adolescent groups in 2015 and 2016. And as we approach 2020, they're valuation markedly skyrocketed to $38 billion. And then as we got to 2021 and 2022, their valuation drastically decreased back to around $5 billion over the course of those 2 years. And we'll discuss why in just a second. And conversely, during this time, Elf Bar and Breeze were the two companies that sort of picked up some of the customers of Juul and Vuse, gaining 56% of the adolescent market, according to the NYTS, or the National Youth Tobacco Survey, the single most authoritative data set or sort of site that we can use to analyze smoking and vaping data as of 2024. And with 36.1% and 19.9%, Elf Bar and Breeze, respectively, have really dominated this vaping industry in recent years, taking a lot of the market share that Vuse and Juul previously had. So why is this, you may ask? So Juul and Vuse are both US domiciled corporations, and hence they're subject to the strict FDA bans that the United States has, whether that be on flavors, on multi-use vape pens, and on requirements for proper FDA filing for market authorization prior to commercializing the products. And these bans proved drastically detrimental for Juul and Vuse, plummeting their sales. Elf and Breeze, on the contrary, are not owned by US companies, and instead they're imported from China, and hence they aren't subject to American law. They're not obligated to comply with the FDA, and they're even created to look like toys, as you can see here, to evade customs enforcement. They flooded the market with single-use disposable products to flout the US bans of multi-use vapes as well. And now for our usual learning objectives quiz that always concludes these safeguard videos. So the 5 questions today are: what's the most important reason that teens have liked using e-cigarettes? How do vape brands bring teens to their events? Why are vape influencers important to vaping? Why did the market-leading brand Juul lose market share after 2019? And why is Elf Bar able to sell product and thrive in the US despite FDA regulations? So I'll give you a little bit of time, 15, 30 seconds. You can pause the video and attempt these questions, and then we'll look at the answers. Okay, everyone, I hope you've had the opportunity to pause and look through these questions and take a shot at all 5. Now we'll look at the answers. Feel free to pause the video if you need any more time, but here are the answers. So the most important reasons, so you can take a look at these answers to all 5 of the questions here, and as usual, check your answers, and if you got 3 out of 5 correct, thank you so much for listening to me today and absorbing the information from story 4, and now we will move on to story 5.